All right, here we
Steve,
go.
welcome to the program. How did you get into theater?
Well, that's I got into theater sort of late in life. I went to church. Grew up in a pretty religious family. Went to church, and then the church that I went to had a really strong drama department. And I was just like there one day, and I was watching a rehearsal, like an Easter drama, and so I thought, hey, that looks like fun. So and the lady that was directing it, she asked me to try out. So I got a chance to try out, and it sort of started from there. And I was originally from Alabama, and that was back in Alabama, and so it just sort of picked up from there. I just really liked it, so I sort of caught the acting bug there.
So you didn't do anything in high school or as an elementary school?
No,
not even church stuff.
No, I was too shy. I always looked, because I remember our senior year in high school, we did Bye Bye Birdie.
Right.
And I looked there, and I said, "Oh, that looks like a lot of fun." But I was always so shy. I was
didn't want to do that.
Shy kid in high school. I tell you, yeah, it was just I wanted to, but I was just too shy to do it. I don't think I said like 5 words my entire time there.
Did you play football in high school?
Yes, I played football. So that's where I got all my released all my frustrations playing football, hitting somebody and stuff. So, but
you didn't get hurt though, right?
No. Well, I hurt my knee my senior year, but still get a lot of arthritis these days today. So it's just pretty rough. But other than that, I came out fairly healthy playing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I had a friend who started football when he was in junior high and hurt his knee, and he was never the same. I mean, he's not crippled, but he was never the same. Yeah. He didn't get to play football anymore. He didn't.
I actually had a letter of interest from Alabama, but after I got hurt, it was just sort of that just sort of kind of nixed that idea. So, but. That was always a kid's dream about growing up, and I played for Alabama and Bird Bryant. So I was
that would have been cool.
That would have been, but I don't. But I got I developed the other interest, which was acting and stuff, and so it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it.
What's your favorite role you've had so far?
Favorite role I've had so far? That's a good question. It was pretty toss up. Lieutenant Kendrick, A Few Good Men. I liked that one, and I like this role that I'm doing.
A Few Good Men?
Yeah, I was
really.
I was Lieutenant Kendrick. I like this role I'm doing now, which is Nick Blaylock. He's a really goofy, loving.
He's got some great lines.
I know he steals the
but
show.
And you just still so naturally.
Yeah,
because if you don't do it that way, it's
Yeah. I believe me, I had plenty of people to pull from doing this role. So, and my sister asked me the other day, she says, "Well, where'd you get the accent for Newt?" And she says, "I've never heard you do that because I have several different Southern accents I do." And she goes, and I go, "Well, it's a guy that I used to work in an auto parts store with back when I was in my 20s, and he'd call me and say, 'Miss Janie, can you go get me a spark plug?'" He just talked he was just a big, lovable guy. He was really big, Yeah. Of course, he had both of his eyes. Newt has only one eye, but Lieutenant Kendrick and Newt, and I would say Senator Winglaw and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas are my 3 favorites.
So why do you like Lieutenant Kendrick?
Lieutenant Kendrick, it was really actually my first. When I moved out to Texas, one thing, it was my actually first pretty big role, which all roles are really great. I enjoyed them. But it was kind of like, it was a real kind of like one of the major characters in the movie. And plus, he was just I like playing mean guys sometimes. He was just really a mean guy, which is so I try to be a nice guy. And that's just so totally different.
You got to be a little different?
You have to be a little different. I like doing different things because Newt is really easy for me because I'm kind of a big, lovable guy. I consider myself goofy, but like somebody like Lieutenant Kendrick, I have to really work at to be mean, to make it look believable. So it's just really, and that's what I'm always looking for. I like to do different stuff too. When I different roles and everything. So.
I seem to remember the first time we were on stage together, it was Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly's story.
Yeah.
And you had to be mean. I think when you threw Buddy Holly or something.
Yeah, I played the manager the manager at Nashville. I didn't like his music and I wanted him to present his music a certain way. And then Buddy sort of gets smart when he says, "I don't want to do that," so we sort of have a little confrontation there. So that was fun too. So I get to push Buddy Holly around, so that was pretty fun. That was my claim to fame on that, so.
That was a fun show.
Yes, it
we had a good time. And that was the same time as Ike.
Yes,
which was weird.
I know. Yeah, that was the show that never ended. Actually,
I know, and so we kept having to replace people. I mean, temporarily because there was the weekend off for Ike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that obviously we're not going to have anything to and we still have a ton of people come.
Yeah, I mean they were full houses, and plus it's interesting you mentioned because the guy he had to go out of town. The guy that was the MC in Clear Lake, guy I had to do his role, so I did 2 roles that night, so that was fun. So so that's a lot of fun. But yeah, theater is just really interesting. You have to really. It's interesting you mentioned that. You have to adapt whatever comes up. Like that was a weather circumstance.
Right.
You have to adapt, and just because it's live, you can't just. Oh well.
And you've done a lot of theater over the years, and I found, like I said, we talk about how people have changed their attitude towards theater. And I remember, like, one of our leads lost their voice, and it's like, well, the show still goes on. I'm sorry, we don't want you to hurt your voice, but the show has to go on, so we got to figure out some way to do that. And they're just kind of, well, can't we delay it? I was like, well, unless it's an act of God, no.
Yeah. Yeah, the show must go on.
The show has to go on. That's the way it is. People they paid good money to be here, to have a good time. You better give it to them.
That's right. That's right. It's an entertainment dollar. And you want to present a good product just like anything else. You want to work hard, and that's you up there. You want to present, like I said, present a good product to make sure you give the best possible performance you can give. So.
So what do you do in real life?
In real life, I'm a security officer at Pawnee Shores Resort, which is here in Conroe, and I'm assistant security chief there. So it's been a lot of fun. I've been doing that for about the last year right now, and I used to clean swimming pools when I first moved to Houston, but I sort of graduated from that. So that's what my degree is in criminal justice.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And so how did you get into criminal justice?
Well, it's just. I when I went to college, it's just like it just seemed like a course that would just really interest me, and I did a lot of mall security. And back in Alabama, I got to go on some a little bit of bounty hunting, which was
kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Yeah, Dog the Bounty Hunter. I can tell you some stories about that. And then I did mall security, which is everybody calls you rent-a-cop and stuff like that. So, but it's a lot of fun because you have to deal with shoplifters and what have you, and just all kinds of stuff. And now the job I am at now is just like a lot of people that go on the weekends. They just get have a little bit too much fun, drink a little too much alcohol there, and you have to sometimes.
But it's not dangerous, right?
Yeah, it can be. It can
really?
be if people, because if you're not supposed to bring any alcoholic beverages on the premises, which people do anyway, and then and you have to ask them to leave if they drink too much. Excuse me, I take that back. You can bring it, but you cannot get drunk, and stuff like that. But it gets pretty interesting sometimes. I could tell you a couple of stories there, since I've had this job, but it's just it's just really weird sometimes. When people it's kind of like an episode of Cops. I had one other night. This lady she was yelling at her son-in-law. She got mad at him. They were just creating a big scene at the parking lot, in the parking lot. So she got mad and slashed their tires. So
she slashed
the tires. It was like an episode of Cops. You go in there, and then we call the Conroe Police Department, which they arrest her. And then see when they have that, we can just ask them to leave, which we didn't ask the members to leave, but the mother-in-law did get arrested.
Oh man, that's incredible.
It's interesting, I'll tell you. So,
what's the most dangerous situation you've ever been in?
Most dangerous situation I've ever been in. There was there was a guy that he brought a weapon on the premises, which you're not allowed.
Not supposed to do. Yeah,
not supposed to do. So we backed up and we called the police and said, and that he was spotted with the weapon. One of the other members had spotted because it's a timeshare, which is where we work at. And one of the other members had spotted him with a weapon. And then we came up there, and we had to call the police every time there's a weapon. And we backed the police up, and the police came and knocked on the door and said, "I'm sorry, you're going to have to give up you have a weapon." He says, "Okay." He says, "I'll go get it." So he just got it out. He just started waving. He says, "You get away from me. You get out of here now." And he started waving the weapon. And so I had to. That's the first time we have weapons ourselves.
Right.
And we backed the police up, and then my boss said, "Go ahead and pull your weapon too." So that's the first time I ever had to pull my weapon.
So you've actually pull it.
I actually had to pull my weapons.
Well, but in criminal justice, you must go through some of the training.
Oh yes, yes, you do. Criminal justice is just an overview of everything. Like I used to want to be a juvenile probation officer. They do a lot of stuff. You go and tour prisons and visit prisons because you have a course in penal criminal. It's like penal, like the judicial system and stuff like that. You take tours of prisons. You do that once a semester. It's just an overview and just what it's like being a police officer, what it's like being a security officer. You take a semester on that. So it's just a general overview of everything. And I have a 2-year degree in that. I have my associates in that. So.
What's probably the biggest mistake we as the public make in terms of security?
Are you talking about just
generally
security? Just not paying attention to what you're doing, not being aware of your surroundings. Like, you need to, like, people, what I get, if somebody, they can, like, during the Christmas time, you're really aware of, I think you're more aware because people but people are just, now because times are hard, people are trying just some people try to get anything they can from you. Just not being aware of your situation and where you're at and aware of the people around you, and some people need to pay more attention to what's going on around them and their surroundings. And that's one thing as a security officer I'm trained to do, in which a lot of it is I just observe people. That's my job, is observing people and when you can observe people, because a lot of people give stuff away with their body language, and you can kind of tell what they're doing. And if you go and if you see, you kind of suspect somebody might be up to no good, so to speak, you can just go and say, hey, can I? A lot of times I'll just go, hey, is there anything I can help you with? And when they see you, I better not do that. Yeah, it'll change their mind.
Right.
But to answer your question, just not being aware of their surroundings. So.
What do you like to do when you get time off?
What do I like to do when I enjoy acting?
But beyond acting,
okay.
I know you're on the stage a lot.
Yeah, I like to play softball.
Really? You're in softball?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time for it, and I like to lift weights, which I try to keep in shape for my job and everything. So. And I enjoy reading and stuff like that. Try to keep up with current events as much as I can and stuff.
You like to read books?
Books. I read a lot of. I got into books on tape a lot.
I know, isn't it neat?
Yeah, it's really neat.
I used to think, why would you do that? But we drive so much in our car.
Yeah.
That there is something very appealing to the audio book, especially if you got a good reader.
Yeah, when I was doing pools, I had to drive a lot, and so that's when I got into books on tape. And I like Spencer for Hire, the Parker series, and I like Stacy Keats because he would narrate. And to do that is really, you have to really have a really good voice. And a lot of the actors I've noticed that they'll read the books, like Stacy Keats reads Robert B. Parker a lot.
Right.
So, and it's really good him doing, I just enjoy his voice is soothing. It's just relaxing, when you're if you got a little if you had a stressful day, you listen to Stacy Keats.
Right.
It's like it's pretty cool. He's got one of those voices like what's the guy? I can't even think of the guy's name, but played God in the movie. African American guy. I can't even think of his name.
Oh really? Oh okay. That's not what I was thinking. No.
Okay.
Okay.
But he's really he's got a really soothing voice. I heard the guy I'm trying to think of.
What part haven't you played that you like to play?
Okay, what part? I would like to play Lenny of Moss and Man.
Really? Mice and Men.
Yeah, I think I really enjoyed reading that story in high school, and I don't know who's. And I don't know if that's even been on the horizon at the Crighton or I do stuff
anywhere. I don't know. I bet at Huntsville. Because not this year. I just saw their next season. They are doing some interesting stuff, but I haven't seen a bison.
Yeah, but Lenny would be a nice role. I think I could do a pretty good job with it. So I've read, and I remember reading, and I had to do a report in college about on the Moss and Man too. And I've read it in high school, like I said. And I always liked the story and everything.
Did you just finish doing The Boys Next Door in Huntsville?
Yeah, The Boys Next Door.
This is awesome play. I mean, it's serious, of course.
Yeah,
but
it's
I
awesome did Trip to Bountiful up there also.
Trip to Bountiful?
Yeah, that was my last play I did. The Boys Next Door, that was an interesting play. And I played in that play. I played the Barry's father, who was one of the boys. He was the
he's mean.
Yeah, he's a mean guy.
He's a mean guy.
He was only in one scene, but that was a very pivotal scene.
Powerful
Scene that he was in. And you almost toward the end, because I played where like he's really mean to Barry, but he lost his wife, which he became bitter at the world, I think, and his wife sort of could handle Barry, which he didn't know how to handle. You kind of felt sorry for him at the end, and that's what I wanted to portray. He does have a good side a little bit, but he just didn't know how to raise a handicapped son. He had no idea how to do it. So.
Right.
And he needed his wife's help immensely on that. So.
Yeah, that's an interesting, to get all that within the character is tough because, so all you really see is kind of the meanness.
Right.
Or you could, but
toward the end, he sort of explains it because he says, "Your mother, God rest her soul, used to worry about you," and
right,
and and as he's going out the door, he said, he just said, "I never could be like your mother, basically, and I did the best I could." So, but which wasn't near good enough, though. Really, that's the whole irony of it. So.
Yeah, that is a powerful play. So, what was the first show you ever did at the Crighton?
The first show that I ever did at the Crighton, Mancha.
Mancha was the first one, really?
The very first one.
Really?
Yes.
That wasn't that long ago. It's, 6-7 years ago?
Yeah, 6 or 7 years ago.
That wasn't that long ago.
Okay. Wasn't that long ago at all. Mm. And then I got A Few Good Men after that. So,
right.
Mm-hmm. So that was but I played a muleteer. Mancha. Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me ask the question we've been asking everyone. If heaven exists, what do you want God to say when you get to the pearly gates?
What do I want God to say when I get to the pearly gates? Steve, did you serve your fellow man like you should? And of course, I'm going to say no. I should have, because I try to help others, and that's why my dad and mom taught my mom and dad. My dad especially, because my dad was handicapped, and he always had a hard time getting around and everything. And that always instilled in me to help others that was less fortunate than and in myself. And I said, Steve, did you try to help her? I'm gonna say, yeah. I said, I could have done more, but I think that's what I want. And I only say, well, you did good.
You did good.
You did good.
You done good, son.
You done good. That's basically. And so.
That's great. Steve, thanks for being with us.
All right. Thank you very much.